All right, everyone, I got a great match for you today. It is in my Italian Progetto 65. Despite its size, it is actually a medium tank. It's pretty fast. It's got the auto-loader gun on it, and it is, I'm not going to lie, a pretty badass piece of hardware, especially with the 4-round magazine. The downside to it is that it loads. If I expend all of the rounds, that first round takes forever to load, so I have to be careful to try to leave one round in the magazine. Anyway, I don't play this very often just because it is so expensive to repair, and the ammo for it is expensive too. So unless I do really well, I end up losing money even if we win. So I got to be careful with that. That's why I've been playing pretty much tier 6 through tier 9, mostly 6 and 8. I've been having a lot of fun really in my, I was kicking butt in my Pershing. This is not the usual crew that's in that. I moved them up into the Patton, which is the next tier up, which I just got. So anyway, back to the match. We're going to be whipping butt in the Mannerheim line, and I hope you enjoy. It is my tier 10 Italian medium. She is a fast little beast. This is the Mannerheim line map, and it is a standard battle. Capture the enemy base or destroy all of their vehicles. Now on this map I like going up the A line in it, and the reason for that is there's a nice little choke point up there that if you could hold it, you can make the enemy come to you, and it's basically just a shooting gallery for you. You can see my magazine very slowly filling up, and I'm kind of racing this STRV to that corner. Now, speaking of corners, you'll see this cliff right here. I like to pause there, and you'll see me come to a sliding stop as soon as the STRV gets out of the way. Do a little drift right there, and the reason I do that is because you can see light tanks racing across this field, and if you're lucky, you can pop one, and if you're real lucky, you can blow his treads off, pin his foot to the floor, and he'll get shredded right there. And I've taken out scouts that way. So I see one of my teammates asking for help, so I start moving up, and I kind of pause to take a look at this SU, but he had pulled back, so there's no way I could get around into him. But that's okay, because as soon as I rounded this, I saw this WZ pop out, and my first round bounces, of course. My second round blew his tread off, bounced my third, and then finally damaged him on the fourth. So now I've pulled back because I saw one of my teammates get shredded, and I also had to wait for my reload. Now I got a round in the chamber, and I moved forward, and I popped that WZ, and I wasn't sure at the time whether I got him in the turret or in the back of the tank. So now again, I gotta wait for my reload. And I can still see my teammate calling for help, but I don't want to move up till I get at least 2 rounds in the chamber, or in the magazine. Excuse me. I hack up a one. And so right there, I'm still waiting for my reload. And I'm still kind of nervous because I keep seeing tanks pop up over on the left, but I'm not sure exactly where they are. And that's an FV-4202. It's a British light, or excuse me, British medium, and I actually have one. I haven't played it in a long while. So there I got a full magazine, and so I decided to start pulling forward. And the Soma's kind of going with me. Drive by the wreckage of that tank I shredded. And I saw this guy trying to push a dead tank out into the thing, and I thought that was kind of silly at first. So I come around the corner here, and then like immediately as I round this rock, this Mark 46 Patton pops up, and then I take two rounds from TDs that both bounce. So decided that wasn't a dumb idea after all. Sorry, excuse me. I don't know why I'm coughing tonight. And here he is. He's helping me push that out there. And then I stopped because I wanted to change the angle a little bit. and went back to trying to push it out there, only I can't push it by myself. Well, I can, just not very fast. So I just ended up giving up on that. And then that UD's pops up, and then right after that there's an STRV that pops up. And I wanted to get a shot at one of them because both of them took a poke at me. And by the time I got around to the dead tank, the STRV got destroyed. So kind of hung by my own petard there. So I decided to pull around the corner, and I got bumped from behind and didn't see that J Panther in time, and took a bit of a hit from him. Not much. But I know where that J Panther was at, so I took a couple random shots. And then pulled back a little bit. And I realized that my teammate has pulled all the way forward, and he got taken out by that TVP. And then right there I took a fairly substantial hit from the J Panther. And the Mark 46 Patton tried to hit me too, but that bounced. But right there I got hit by that dang Udi's. So I back around this corner, and I realized, let me put it back in free cam. My teammate is getting shredded, and he's lost his tread, so he can't back up. And I have no idea where this guy is, so I am just taking random shots. And he finally starts moving back, takes another hit, blows his tread off again, and I was trying to find where it was coming from so I could distract the guy, but I'm not seeing anything. And then this TVP rounds the corner, but I got a full mag. So there's 1, 2, and 3, and then I took a hit from that damn Udi's. So right there I was actually pretty damaged. I just didn't realize how bad it was. I was more concerned about the fact that my observation device was damaged, and even though my crew repaired it, if it's not 100%, you lose spotting range. And you definitely want to have this on this map, especially at this corner. So right there, I'm just kind of sitting there waiting for my magazine to reload, and I was also a little nervous that something was following that TVP. And I was going to go take a peek, and as I round the corner right here, that J Panther 2 pops up like, hello! And you can see I panicked a little bit. I was driving all over everything. But I managed to pop him. And then I thought maybe I pulled out too far and backed up in a hurry. So right there I'm on 3 kills, a little over 2,600 points of damage. And it finally sunk in how badly damaged my tank was. Because I am down to just a sliver of health. And I also thought at the time I was here by myself, but then I see that STRV pull up. And I was wondering how far he was going to go, and I see that he starts pulling out there, and I'm like, oh crap, I need to get my buns out there and support him. And that IS-3 is right there, and he gets destroyed. But then I also see Yada 117 in his Canon Jagpanzer pull up, so I felt a little better. Those things are pretty beastly. And I'm just kind of, let me put it back in game camera, because right there I got a piece out of that guy, pretty substantial piece too. And I was hoping the Canon Jagpanzer would pull out and take a shot at him too. And I was just kind of dueling back and forth. I didn't want to pull out because I know that Udi's was still out there somewhere. And I was wondering if he was just not shooting at Yada because that would expose him to Yada, who has a superior TD. But then he just pulls forward, and I see that this, let me put it in free cam, this IS-3 is pulled way out there. He was actually running away. And Yada ended up shooting the dirt. This guy realized that there was no cover, so he pulls back down in there. And I thought maybe for a second he had fallen into the hole of no return. And Yada backs off because he does not have the gun depression to hit the guy, but I do. So I start pulling forward. And then I realized this guy is not paying any attention to us, really. So I decided to YOLO it as Yada went the other way. And I fired as I was headed down that hill. Fortunately for me, because I wasn't thinking at the time, with as badly damaged as my tank was, if I had rammed him, I probably would have destroyed us both. So it was a good thing I took a shot. Now that Udy's pops up, and I really, really want a piece of this guy. And I come up over the edge, I sight in, and I pull the trigger about a half a second too late. And it was actually our artillery that actually got him. Now, speaking of artillery, keep an eye on that Udy's right there. Boom. Scared the crap out of me. I had no idea where that came from. Realized it was artillery and started pulling forward. But I didn't want to go out too far out in the open because, I mean, the artillery could get me with splash damage at this point because there's very little left in the tank for me, so to speak. Pardon the pun. But I also want to get a shot at this M46. My teammate in the Object 705 beat me to it and decimated the guy. So now we're just down to the enemy artillery. And speaking of this Object 705, Big Boy there sent me a platoon request, which I accepted because you can get extra points for being in a platoon and extra medals. And it might be a mission for him that he just needed to have. So right there we see the enemy artillery, and Yada just makes no bones about it. Straight in, charges, and rams the guy. I don't think he even fired. I think he just rammed him. And that was the end of the match. It was a lot of fun, and I hope you enjoyed it. Alright everybody, that was an exciting mission. I did a little over 3,200 points of damage, and I got the 4 kills, starting with the WZ who pulled out there and he was attacking one of my teammates, and I was I think the second to damage him, and obviously the last to get him. So, and still, it was I wish I could have done better with that particular one. Then maybe that particular team member would have lasted longer. But yeah, there it is. So the next up was the TVP, who came out bold as brass and paid for that, but not before dealing a fair amount of damage. And then the Jade Panther, which scared the crap out of me, just rounded the corner like, hello! And I was able to finish him as well. And then finally the IS-3 that I shot. And kind of glad I did shoot him before I rammed him, because I still hadn't really sunk in how badly damaged my tank was. And mine's a medium tank, his is a heavy. It probably would have killed us both. So kind of glad I shot him first. So anyway, I got the Brother in Arms medal for teaming up with Big Boy in his Object 705. I got my Bruiser for damaging enemy vehicle modules and crew members. My Fire for Effect. My Duelist. My Fighter. And Mastery Badge is 3rd class, which I think should have been higher. And one of the things I was getting a giggle out of is that there is a on-track missions to Tier 10, and the prize for completing this particular mission track is a Progetto 65. And so, I don't know, maybe if I do finish that, I'll get gold instead, or credits or whatever. So I was number 3 in damage, and I tied with Big Boy for the number of kills. And now when I looked at the results of this, I remembered why I don't play this very often. You can see how much it costs to repair my vehicle and resupply my ammunition and consumables. So I got 5,200, or excuse me, 52,000, a little more than that in credits, and this was my net gain. So I have to do well in this tank, or I just lose a ton of money. So that's essentially why I've been playing Tier 6 through Tier 8. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the match. I enjoyed playing it. I love this tank. It's fast. It's deadly. It's unfortunately expensive to run, but it is still a lot of fun to play. So if you enjoyed the match, please remember to hit the like button down there below. Drop me a comment and subscribe to my channel if you have not already done so. And I will see you all at the next World of Tanks video.